Hi guys, so in today's video we're going to be talking to Marvin Diaz. Marvin's a man of many talents. He's an aeronautical engineer by profession, and he also runs a podcast called Center Sage, and he hosts bar quizzes. He does lots of other cool stuff. What else you do, Marvin? I'm sure I left out a few things.
Yeah, I'm a serial challenger, so right now I feel like every other month I need to be on some kind of a challenge. Apart from that, music I think is something we need to start doing more. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can call myself a professional musician, but everybody starts somewhere, I guess. So I mean, a lot of little things that are in progress, I guess. Yeah, I think that's probably what I should be called, a little thing in progress.
A little thing in progress.
That should be
Yeah,
my name.
wow, that
Yeah,
really fits.
Yeah, that should. I already know what's going on my tombstone. Shit, that took a very long time.
So in today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about how things have changed during the lockdown in terms of the environment and in terms of how the city looks, the quality of the air, the wildlife on the streets, just stuff happening, you know.
Yeah, that's the wildlife on the streets. Who do represent? Yeah,
This is our house's wildlife.
the animal. But yeah, I mean, one thing's for sure. If we look at probably 2 weeks ago, right, when we were at Arambol, it was so quiet. You couldn't even hear everything we're hearing right
Yeah.
now, and it seemed so odd. Firstly, like I couldn't believe that I was in the city. It was so quiet. We could hear the birds. Everyone was being woken up by the birds, and the air was for sure much more cleaner and more breathable. It almost, I mean, it's odd to say this, but Bangalore just seemed livable, so much more livable at that point, right? It just felt like, I mean, the city that I've heard about, which it was maybe during your childhood. I mean, it just sucks that we know now we are in between where it was during the lockdown and where it's going when they're going to open everything up. And part of me, I know COVID is horrible and things like that, but I mean, not to brush it off, but it just sucks that we're going, when we open everything up again, we're going back to what Bangalore was, and we're going back to the traffic and the noise and the pollution. And like, I'm sure not only me, but a lot of people feel like this kind of quiet that we enjoyed and this whole livable urban area thing should continue in some way or the other.
Sure, I think many people feel that way, but it's not what we associate with development. Like when we think about the city functioning, we think about jam-packed bus stands, hundreds of buses leaving every day to places all around the state, all over the country, trains shooting off, jet planes going to countries far and wide, construction happening everywhere, and that's pretty much what we've been accustomed to as a nation in terms of development. So this is what progress looks like, and somehow people saw the silence as a sign of, you know,
The earth is healing, the nature is coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that. But of course, we can't live in a world where this lockdown is indefinitely continuing, right?
Sure, it's not viable in our
Yeah.
current model. So the way society, the government, people's salaries, the way it's built, like maybe if there was something like universal basic income, people didn't have to travel to work, they didn't have to rent places in cities that they don't want to be in. You know, they could all just stay in villages, mountains, find their own locations. Things would be different.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think that's going to happen overnight in our current scenario. But like, I think right now it's about finding this balance, right?
Yeah.
Like, we were in a span of 1 week, so much good has come out of it.
Sure.
For like, for yourself, for the environment, for, I mean, just in terms of general health and well-being, right? I mean, all the pandemic aside, and it's horrible, of course. But just being able to step out in the morning and not having to like cough and like not being hit with a sandstorm.
Wave of smoke and
Yeah,
soot.
yeah. Like, I mean, one thing I know that's coming out for sure is more people will spend less time traveling. I mean, companies like TCS, for example, they recently said over 80% of their employees will be given an option to work from home permanently. And what this means is, I have a lot of friends, including one of my friends who lives just close to where I live. which is that bad, by the way. You should totally rate us 5 star. But yeah, different story. But anyway, so he works at Whitefield. So he takes 2 hours to get from Kurmangla first block to Whitefield, and 2 hours to come back. Sometimes longer because like it gets more crowded at night. So I mean, just imagine spending almost 5 hours of your day stuck in traffic. That's a colossal waste.
I know a lot of people do that, and I've always wondered why. But the thing is that like good jobs are very hard to come by. Actually, even average jobs are hard to come by. So cities like Bangalore, they agglomerate people from all over the country. People come from everywhere, and then they stay here, they work here, they live here, but they work extremely long hours. The work-life balance doesn't really exist. So people are just trying to, sort of move ahead in life so that they can move to the next step. Get that promotion so that they can get married.
Totally unrelated things, by the way. A lot of people relate them.
Yeah.
A marriage is not a promotion.
But like somehow work, success,
Yeah.
owning a car, buying a flat,
Yeah.
these things are somehow related to your basic value in life. Yeah. And now, to go on to the next point. So how could we carry this into the future?
Yeah.
Like what steps can we take to make sure that we even enjoy a part of this piece?
So I mean, the biggest thing or the most glaring thing obviously is the traffic, man, and the level of pollution, but also the level of like stress and the deterioration of our living conditions because of that. So that's the point I was trying to touch when I said work from home. I mean, what's happened is it's kind of everyone knows of work from home, but I think this has kind of forced everyone to kind of try it for themselves, and this is piloted it like on a compulsory basis. And what's come out of it is that a lot of people feel that they can carry out whatever they were doing with not so much inconvenience offline. I mean, and what I mean by offline is online, not
online, but not in the office.
Yeah. So I mean, if a lot of this time that's taken in traveling, which contributes to traffic jams and contributes to pollution, if that itself can be taken out of the equation, I think that's the biggest problem, of course. But that would contribute to massive levels of like improvement of life conditions and pollution, reduction in pollution, reduction in just the roads and your commuting. Like for example, we don't live that far from each other, but it's just a hassle to commute, and it's not because of the distance, it's because of like
a massive junction.
Yeah,
in the
the
way.
junction, and you're probably going to get killed 5 different ways crossing the road.
Right. And that's the exact same thing that keeps people from cycling. Like as you all probably know, riding a bicycle is one of the more sustainable ways of getting around after walking. And if more people cycle, because the weather here, as you can see, is perfect. This is the ideal weather for cycling, and people don't. One factor is that it's related to wealth, and it's a sort of a social stigma if you're seen cycling and not being on a motor vehicle. But the second thing is just that if you can't get through the traffic, if you can't cut through simply enough, it doesn't make it viable. And I think that we really need to change the way people view cycling, and we all need to take it back. We need to take more space. We need to take back public space and use it for ourselves. Say that this is not space only for cars. I want to play on the road. I want to play chess on the road. Just sort of sit outside your house, have a picnic, and then the vehicles will also sort of like slow down to a point that they can't move easily either. And like at least within residential areas, I think it's on us, to take back the space.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. So I mean, that kind of encapsulates the whole idea of breaking this whole block jam and this traffic, and it's contributing to all of these different things apart from just blocking up our urban commute. But that is one thing for sure. I think one more thing is that a lot of people have started cooking for themselves, which means again going back to healthy living, right? All of the shit that we get from Swiggy is okay, I guess, if you don't have a chance. But again, this has kind of been forced on us and said, we've been through like this test, right? Can you work from home? Yeah, I think you can. Can you cook your own food? Yeah, I think I can. So it's kind of forced people to start doing this, and now they realize they can do it.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are, everyone's going to have a sourdough starter for sure. Everyone's going to have kombucha at home. But I think a lot of people have started taking this interest in it. And I don't think it's going to stop when it opens up. For sure, people are going to be cooking more, experimenting more in
Yeah.
the kitchen, whatever that means. Yeah, that's definitely that. And another point, kind of related, is queues, man. Fuck it, everyone's
Yeah,
standing in
people
a
are queuing
queue,
up, believe
and
it or
it's
not.
so cool. It's
Yeah.
so nice that no one's like I don't know, brushing up against you and like you're not getting groped in 5 different ways.
Yeah.
But that's so nice. I mean, I really wish that continues, and I think that the whole idea of social distancing is not going to stop. There's still going to be this stigma it's kind of a positive stigma, I think, because if you go to Southeast Asian countries, right, it could be Vietnam, could be even Singapore and China. After SARS, everyone started wearing the face mask, and
Right,
if you look
yeah.
at it now, it started off because of that, but now a lot of people wear it for pollution and various. It's also like it's become part of the fashion statement. Like it's so hype beasts always wear like face masks, the black face masks, and it's become part of the culture. And I think again, coronavirus has kind of forced us to the right direction, and I don't think social distancing is going to stop from now. Like I've seen a bunch of memes that could hold some truth where they say like even blowing candles off a cake could be something of the past, because anything to do with transmission, right? People are going to think
Right,
twice.
yeah.
Even if they don't do it, they're going to think about it. So yeah, kissing your date like on the first date is probably a no-no after this. I don't know if you're into it. But yeah, I mean those are the two things for sure. The three things if you look about it, if you look at it. Apart from that, do you think anything else that we're currently doing is going to carry forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, what are we currently doing?
Yeah, I mean it's a bunch of different things, but like just off the top of my head, the whole idea is once coronavirus lockdown ends and everyone's like let loose to roam the planet, what can we carry forward and what I guess good comes out of it? And yeah, I mean even if these three things are going to be followed or it's going to be ingrained into our culture, right, across the world, I think things are going to get better, or some good things will come out of it.
And I think like another important thing is the amount of messaging that's gone out from vegan organizations to the rest of the world, just sort of reminding people that we are in this situation because somebody thought it was okay to eat an animal, and it obviously like humans and other animals are very similar, especially other mammals, and diseases can transmit super easily between the two. So this is another thing that like we've been getting the messaging as well, and I'm sure billions of other people around the world have gotten it also, and maybe it triggers something in their brain that sort of gets them to stop eating animals because it's bad for their own health and they could create the next pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, people will definitely question it for sure. For now, it's a little bit of a joke and it's confined to like the far reaches of bats and pangolins.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of people are probably thinking, wait, if a pangolin can give you that, I mean, another animal is not exempt from it.
Right, like during the early days, there was this sort of rumor going around on WhatsApp that, at least here, that chickens were responsible for the whole COVID pandemic, and a number of like thousands of chickens were dumped. Like they basically just sort of mass buried them, and then ever since the demand for chicken has been at an all-time low. So farmers haven't been producing that many chickens anymore. So yeah, I mean, maybe people will start eating less animals after this pandemic, just out of concern for their own health, even if they don't care about the animals or the environment or any of these other things. So that's something to look forward to. I think that might have the biggest environmental impact. Second is transportation, like changing the way we move, walking more, cycling more, using electric vehicles. These are things that will change. Of course, using public transport as well can also make a big difference. Giving people more space in society. Anything else that comes to mind?
Oh, I think it recaps everything we've spoken about.
So guys, in conclusion, I just wanted to remind everyone that you can live a simpler life than you currently do, and like please like look into the things that you're purchasing, see if you really need it before you buy it, because everything that never gets bought does not have to be produced, and that's the biggest saving that you can do. Marvin, you want to say bye?
Goodbye. Stay safe, guys. Wash your hands. Stand in queues. And yeah, things are going to get much better. Hang in there.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.